to get for these properties,
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead,
all
Ray.
of these loans are gonna have a stipulation that you don't live in these properties. So all of these properties are investment properties or rental, they're in rental properties. So by definition, they're commercial, meaning all the loans are going to be different type loans. Like foreclosing on these properties is much easier than if an owner occupant lived in the property, right? If you want to foreclose on a property that's somebody's primary residence, you have to jump through hoops. It takes 2 or 3 years to get that property by the bank. In this case, the bank can foreclose and take this property much faster, much easier, because it's a commercial property. You're engaged in commerce, right? It's not your personal residence. So technically this is all commercial in that sense.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, it's like, that's how this is. So I'm just saying that it's a good thing. I think you're just going to have to get with Cameron on the, with the lenders list and say, hey, can we, and I mean, like I said, because what I'm doing, Ari, is with the list and with the fundamental, with the other list we have, I'm actually having a VA build a searchable database. So you'll be able to go like, okay, I need a lender in Ohio that does single family and will accept a second, another lender with a second on it. And it has to be this and this and this terms or whatever. So you'll be able to put like the state, you'll be able to put even like a location, like maybe you're in Cleveland or versus Cincinnati, and then we'll have all the lenders in there. It takes a little bit more to build this than just what we were doing before when I just had because I had those lists separated. I don't remember if you saw that list. I mean, I put it out a couple times before. We didn't give anybody the list from the 2020 class because we weren't doing that at the same time, since we were all in, we were all trying to get PMA funded at the time. So we weren't like giving that list out. But now, so we're going to have we're going to have a searchable database that everyone that's in Masterclass and Download Center will have. And then they can just basically go in there and say, hey, I'm looking for a lender in San Francisco. Good luck with San Francisco real estate, just off the top of my head. Okay.
Can I get a second note on my box on the street?
So yeah, I just threw that out there. But no, you'll be able to actually search and say that. And it's costing me about $500 for the VA on this one. It only cost me like $50 to get the VA to separate all my lists into 3 separate. And they're a little bit off. If people notice them, but you can still search it. So you can go whatever lender and search it. You got enough information. It just leaves out the bottom of every listing. And we got 811 on one, 411 on one, 849, and we got like 50 on the other list. There's altogether.
Nate, I was just hoping you knew who to talk to at a particular lending house.
Dude, nobody, I have
happen.
never, in the 200 deals I've done, I've never done a second that was a lender. I've done a second that was a partner, that somebody was going to be a partner and they were going to, because like Kogo, you could go up to, if you're under 10%, you don't even have to be a guarantor on the deal at all, as far as they're concerned. Like Kogo and some of these other lenders. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, if anybody wants to pursue these deals, this is great, Cameron. I mean, you guys just got to talk to him and go through it with your lenders or use his. I know you said the fees were high, but I'm like,
he has a lender lined up, which is fine for everybody in general. But I have my own lending business already, so I'm like, if I can find a lender, I'm already brokering. So if I can find a lender that I can go through, I'd rather do that and save on the fees.
No, I get it, dude. But I'm like I said, I don't know. This is such an interesting program that he told us about that I haven't literally put a whole lot of thought into it. I might have to talk to Cameron more, but that's why I've been telling people just schedule an appointment with Cameron and talk to him about it. And you've done that. So, I mean, I just follow up with him and ask him, if you want to no, and I think he has a lender list because I shipped every lender list.
No, he doesn't have a lender list. He has a broker that he's using for this.
Well, I'll send him our lender list because he's part of, he's part of it.
But he basically has a broker that's doing all this, which is fine. I mean, that's good. I mean, I don't care, and I would say to everybody else, go and use his broker. That's part of the deal. I just looked at it and said, hey, I'm already brokering. I have an established company. Can I do this in-house instead of having to go and use another broker? That's all that I'm trying to do.
No,
I'm
and I
saying
get
save
it.
some
No, and I
money.
get it. And I get it. Totally cool. I'm like, just said you just got to privilege go through him on that. Here, real quick, guys. I'm going to make Kevin co-host, and then I'm going to go quick in a couple housekeeping things for the schedule. And then I'm going to show you guys, hey, guess what? Tonight is the last night I'm going to be doing documents. So you guys should be happy about that. No more try reading. Let me see if I can show up on video yet. Here I am.
I couldn't get in forever, so I don't even know if that's even going to work. So I'll just be careful on the video part.
Oh, I know. I'm good. I can get out of it. Just go back to my script, my headshot. Okay, guys. So here's the schedule for the next few weeks. Tonight will be the last night. We're just going to review a few documents. I'm going to go over a couple things. I know we've talked about the finders. So Doris, to answer a couple questions that you've had a couple different times about the finders, I did actually get the chart today, so I'm going to show that to you guys. It hasn't been approved yet. The SEC did approve one if you're doing M&A, if you're doing acquisition, merge and acquisition, they approved one, and it was done at the same time. So the thinking is it should be any time where you could actually raise money and be able to be compensated. So we will go through that. The next 2 weeks are going to be what we call deal desk, and I'm not going to probably record all of it. I may just a little bit of it just to kind of give people what we're doing, maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then take it off record. I want everybody here and everybody in the group to bring a deal that you're working on or that you need help on. And I'm going to basically be on my iPhone instead of on the webcam like I am tonight. So that way I can use the computer and my iPad to actually have the lender list, and we can start actually just helping you guys deal structure. Because on the 27th, okay, so we got the free event on the 22nd, and that's a Wednesday night. So you can come and you do have to go to the Zoom and sign up on the Zoom link. There's one in the group because it's going to be open to everybody. Jim Ingersoll and John Morey I think are promoting it in their group at 250. This is to really get a lot of people, and you guys can actually get a lot of people you could broker for. So if you're going to be brokering, you might pick up some clients out of here. We're going to do one of these a month. But on the 27th, Armando is going to be back with Justin Birch, and they're going to do a 2 to 3 hour AI event. They're going to show ChatGPT, like Armando was talking about last week, with PropWire, Privy, and PropStream, and they're going to show you some stuff. I don't know if when they get to a certain point, I'll have to take it off record. I'm not going to record it when people's addresses and emails and phone numbers are visible, because that's what we got flagged on YouTube for. The video got deleted. So part of it I won't record, but you guys will be able to see it all. It just won't record in that section. So I'll have to basically when I show it, because some of them might be posting publicly because we really want to get into this AI. And then the last 2 weeks will be April 4th and 11th. We're going to do the deal desk thing again and just basically work scenarios and structure and we're working on your deals. We're not working. So there's really no agenda. Bring your deals, bring something you want to work on as a group. We'll assume that everybody kind of has an NDA. So really don't speak of people's deals outside of the group. And then we will go to every other week. So the next one will be April 25th. I think we'll do 2 sessions in May, 2 in June. And then right after mid-July, we will start over with week 1. You guys are in for life. So if you missed a session or you want to come back anytime you're in, you don't have to worry about it. The links we're just going to be adding people to the Masterclass group. And so if you miss a session, and then we are, April, I'll be back into my office. I haven't been in 2 years. I get my mail there, but because of COVID, I just got frustrated with social distancing when I was hot desking. But now I'll have an actual office, a 10 by 12 glass walls and all that. So it's going to be pretty sweet. So I'll be doing a lot of content from there. Tomorrow, I'm going to start doing content probably for the rest of the year, at least 5 videos, 6 videos a week of probably 10-minute modules. So it'll be 5 to 10 minutes.
You want me clean or sweaty?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't want you sweaty.
Yeah, for some reason, Kevin keeps getting knocked out.
I don't think that was Kevin getting knocked out. I think that was something else.
I know, but I'm just saying that's why Kevin keeps disappearing. So that's the schedule for the next couple of weeks.
Hey, Nate, could you put that schedule into an email or something, or a
Yeah, I
Facebook
put it in
post
the-
or something?
I put in a Facebook for the Masterclass group.
Okay,
Okay.
that works.
So just so you guys know, I'm just going over it because it's also so it's recorded. So when the members who aren't here tonight watch the video. So tonight we're just gonna really I'm gonna show you a few more documents. And then let me see.
Just to let you know, it's bounced me out already twice, Nate.
I know, dude.
And this phone's been updating like crazy the last 3 days, so I'm not sure if that's part of the problem.
All right, we're gonna show you guys real quick. And remember, I got to do this double thing where I got to click on it, click on, click back on it. It kind of sucks. By the next masterclass, I intend to have this down.
What, how to actually operate your computer?
No, dude. It's actually how sometimes I
Yeah,
just don't get.
between the computer and Zoom. It's being a pain in the butt.
All right, can you guys see this loan application?
Just your file with this.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, okay, now you've done something. There we go, finally. All right,
Okay.
now you're on.
Okay, guys. Now this is just one of about 10 different loan applications that I have. So you guys can see it. Let me get out let me go down to my, okay. So this is just one of, you have to do a lot of things when you're collecting people's information. So if you're a lender or you're a private money broker, or if you're a borrower, this is actually Kogo's with mine information, but I white label it so I can use it for any other lenders that don't have, because some lenders don't have don't have loan applications. So this kind of talks about their situation. There's a few things, obviously, this is all for non-owner occupied investments. So, you've got to be on these, I'm going to show you the loan application, a credit application, a couple other forms, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. So when you guys talk about, when you guys have a client, you go all the way back to week 1 in your client fee agreement. You're going to want to show your, and when we close out in a few weeks, we'll go through all the documents one more time of what you need for a package. But it's different for every lender. If you're brokering for Kogo versus Ground Floor versus Vizio, Kogo's got a lot more forms than anybody else, but which is why I kind of go, I kind of make sure that I emphasize that, because you'd rather at this point when you're starting out have overkill. Like the team says in the movie, overkill is underrated. You want to basically cover everything. So I'm going to put in the tomorrow in the Facebook group, I'll put actually, the 7 or 8 forms you're going to need for your package, whether you're a broker or your lender. We actually have 4 members, 4 associates that are going to be lending. 2 are coming in this week. They'll be new. They'll be for Masterclass 2, but they're going to be ready to. They're doing EMD or down payment loans, and then 2 people are already in. That you guys, I won't mention them, but I'm going to work with them on the side to get them all ready with their packages, with their borrowers' checklist and their loan, their forms, making sure they're all white label and they've got the right setup. So you guys want to put in. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I did upload this today, so you guys can download it out of the files tab section, but this is where it's different than a regular loan application you've seen, because you've got like over here, you got purchase with cross collateralization. You've got ARV if it's a refi, if it's a rehab or the second, where the rehab, honestly, and some lenders actually consider a rehab to be a second, but they're actually the second. Kogo Capital gives you a purchasing loan. They're giving you a second loan on the deal for rehab. It's a separate loan, and they even break the payments down when the servicing company sends you the interest, the bill for interest. Yeah.
So something to point out, I'm looking at this here, where you have the non-owner occupied investment flip and hold.
Yeah.
So people who are starting out and are new need to be aware of this.
Yeah.
If
No, we
you-
talk. Yeah.
What?
No, I think go ahead, continue. I didn't.
So when you, from the IRS point of view, you want to be a real estate professional from a tax purpose point of view to be able to take all your deductions and stuff. If you get tagged as a what is it? They get tagged as a broker.
Yeah, but
Whatever
you're
the
not.
term is, So hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. So
Okay.
what you want to do is what matters is what your intention was from the get-go. So if you go in with an intention of flipping a property, okay, first thing you want to do that in a separate entity from the
Yep.
entity that holds your properties, and you want to do it in a separate entity from yourself, because you don't want to get tagged as a dealer, not a broker. The term is dealer. You don't want a dealer tag on you or on your holding or on your company that holds your properties. So you always want to use a separate LLC, it's totally separate from the rest of your structure if you're going to do flips. But if you go in to do a flip, okay, on a property, and then you decide to hold the property, you still may have some tax implications. So you almost always want to go in with the intention of buying a property to hold it. If you then flip it, so be it, you win. But if
Yeah.
you go in with the intention of flipping and then hold it, you could lose. Just a piece of advice to people. I always, whenever I go after a property, it's to hold it. If I end up flipping it, God bless me. And if I think I may end up flipping it, I make sure to do it in a separate entity than my holding company that's gonna hold my properties.
Yeah,
So
well, I was-
my companies will never get tagged as a dealer, and neither will I.
That's why at the first week of the class, we tell people that if they want a broker, because it's a way to make, it's a way to get in the business and make money, like wholesaling. And so we tell them to set up a separate LLC
Yep.
because you can actually broker to yourself on the loan. But going into this kind of separate thing, guys, also remember up here's your broker information. So you want to put this in there. So if you're actually brokering for a client or even yourself, this is your broker information. And we went through HUD 1 a few weeks ago. So when you guys ever have your first deal, get with me and I can help you with the first, making sure that the HUD 1 and all that stuff. You're gonna have the title company. Yeah.
That's when you guys get paid, because those are the instructions that tell the folks at the title company what to do. So you got to make sure that this goes on that. And like, if you're going to work with Kogo, they take care of that themselves for you. But any of these others, you got to double check to make sure that it's covered. So.
And you guys want to
Yeah,
make,
ooh,
and this is something you really want to maybe, like I said, you always want to do an interview after you get the client agreement that we went over in week 1, is because you want to probably sit down and go through this. You want to study this a little, make sure you get your legal description, things like that, right? Because this is going to be a loan document. This is for some, they talk about, you guys see it all the time. They talk about, oh, you go to an REAA meeting and you meet somebody, they might even have a loan or a credit application. But so just remember that we're teaching this from the perspective that they are, but that's always the situation. You obviously got to have the details of the transaction. In a couple of weeks, I'm gonna actually probably in April, probably closer to April, I'm gonna upload about 30 deals that I did where I've got the undertaker and the transaction coordinator notes. And these are from Kogo, Vizio, and a few other ones. So you'll actually be able to see the notes, the transaction coordinators, and you'll see when I first started out that I had a lot more notes. By the time I got to into 2019, 2020, I didn't have any notes because you get cleaner and better as you go. So the first like maybe 8 to 10 loans I had like a lot of chicken scratch from the coordinator, and they use different color pens, and it's designed that way. So red is underwriter, you don't want red. They write in blue for the transaction coordinator, and then everything else is in black. That's Kogo. Well, some lenders don't do that or they won't share them with you. But if you're broken with them, you can ask for the underwriting and the transaction coordination. Transaction coordination is who's going to deal with getting everything to the title company right. At that point, because like Kogo, you'll have a processor, and they have 4 or 5 processors, and then they'll have an underwriter. They have one underwriter, and the underwriter basically says no. They will do a review, and Lee Arnold and Gary Myers and a couple other people will go in there as a review committee, and they may override the underwriter based on if you as a broker have a really good relationship with them, or if one of the people is in their program. You'll see some questions on their documents for Kogo only. If they're in one of their programs, like their master program, which is like 20 grand to get into because you're taking 4 or 5 deals. If somebody's in
there's that, and then if you've done 8 or 10 deals through them, that also the volume that comes in there comes into play too. So they've got certain programs or certain stuff that they have at Lee's level that's not available to everybody else. So they'll have that secondary review to double check and make sure that there isn't anything in there that qualifies you. Plus, if there's a difference between what they've told you on the interest rates and what you've actually done with Lee, that could also come into play where they might drop it another rank or two on that thing. So,
And also,
if that doesn't work, they may kick it around with themselves and do it themselves. That's been known to be done before. So
yeah,
that's why that's kind of important to have all that available.
and if you do their master program and you do 4 deals in a year, and that could be master private broker, master lien abatement. They have a lien abatement program. They have a master flipper, which are 20,000. But if you do 4 deals with them, they will fly you up to Idaho and they will give you a check for all your money back.
Yeah, not to mention you're sitting there for a week in the office actually doing this stuff.
Oh yeah, for private money broker
and doing all the things that they do there. You're actually in there doing all this, so you're getting a firsthand knowledge and being one of them for a week.
Yeah, they fly you up for master broker. You fly in on a Sunday and you leave on Friday afternoon, and you spend 4 days with them. Basically, you're helping underwrite other deals. They help you get your own deals while you're there, because they have people all the time that come in. They'll give you deals right off their lead generation and have you make the call and have you put the deal together. And not only that, you'll get paid broker fee while you're there. So you may do 2 or 3 deals generate there while you're there. So you may go up there and make 10 grand, and your trip is free. They put you in the hotel. I mean, if you go in the master program, you're paying 20 grand. It's all on you, the hotel. But if you do the 4 deals, they fly you back up there for a couple of days and they give you your check back.
And you can do this multiple times too. So,
yep. And we're going to do, probably as we get closer to the end of the program, I'll do a whole night where I basically go through the 6 lenders I recommend. I have uploaded today. I put in ground floor links for ground floor, lending one, Lima one, and Vizio is loaded all in the files tab, all the current 2023. You can sign up to broker for Vizio right now. I've been getting Kogo this week, so I'll get the Kogo updates. I'm just waiting for them they have a new person that's under Gary. Gary got promoted, and he's not going to be doing like a lot of the stuff he's been doing. He's also known Lee since they were like teenagers. So they've known each other almost 40 years. So here's some questions, declarations. This is, are you a repeat borrowing guarantor? They ask you if there's judgments against you, if you've declared bankruptcy with 7 years or foreclosure. Bankruptcy and foreclosure with most of these lenders that we recommend do not matter as long as they're closed out and they're basically done. And because you can't file another 7 years. So unlike a mortgage, regular home mortgage, it really doesn't matter. They're going to ask you for your banking information. They'll use Plaid. We talked about that before. They'll talk about stocks, bond, and retirement. So like I said, this is really a really good form because it is Kogo's, but it's got, if you want to use it yourself, like you become a private lender and you just want to lend your own money, you can white label this. It's completely free, fair game. So you can go in and find and replace and take this out and put your information in there, and you could use it yourself. So that's what I wanted to make sure you guys knew, that you can do this with this. And that's that is a loan application. And then let me come up and there's also a credit authorization. And like I said, these are loaded, so you can look at these on your own time in a little bit more depth. And I will get better at this by the time we get to Masterclass 3, or 2 for this year, but 3 together. So this is a credit application authorization, and you guys want to be really careful. Obviously, if you've got social security numbers, Kogo itself, if you sign up for them, they have a link you can actually just give to the customer, the client, and they can upload this to directly. They don't have to even send this back to you, but they're going to want the business entity. All these lenders want a business entity. They're going to want an LLC or corporation. So you also want to make sure they got a bank account with the corporation or LLC, and they've got the incorporation or LLC forms. I will show you guys that we got one for Private Money Holdings. Kevin and Jesse are on it in Wyoming, but this form that's actually filed in Wyoming doesn't have our names on it. Riley Park is our rep there. He's and then we have a separate form where we all sign. that we are, the partners in the company. And you can change that. So keep in mind, Wyoming's pretty interesting, but you have no state income tax, no corporate tax, and it's anonymous. Just like I said, Riley Park is our corporate officer. I've never even met the guy, but he gets all of our legal documents and all that stuff sent to him. So guarantors, they're going to want social security numbers and stuff. They're going to pull credit report, authorized to pull the credit report. So this is just really a one-page thing. Keep in mind, if you have multiple guarantors, you might need to have 2 or 3 of these. So that is actually just real quick. You guys see the federal EIN. So you guys know when you go get an EIN now. So the IRS is not like the SEC. They operate on government business days and government business hours from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. So you used to be able to just go on the irs.gov and file for an EIN, and you could do it at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. And now you can't do that. So you got to go between 8 and 5 Washington time, Monday through Friday, if you want to file and get an EIN for an entity. So this is just your basic, right? Like I said on this too. Yeah,
And
sorry.
something else to add that people should be aware of in this business. In the event that somebody is looking to do a loan and the purchaser of the property is a self-directed IRA or a self-directed 401k or anything like that, a qualified what's called qualified funds, you have to be careful because they cannot do recourse loans. So let's say you have a trust, right, that's buying a piece of property for an IRA, which you can do. Self-directed IRA can buy property through the trust. You cannot be a guarantor for that loan. You cannot, they have to do what's called a non-recourse loan, meaning they can't come after somebody. So you have to be aware of that and be very careful, because if you're doing that loan, you're not going to run that person's personal credit or take their personal information. But you're going to take their personal information as a trustee, but you're not running their credit. You can't go after them if that loan is defaulted. All they can do is just take the property. They can't go after the owner of the trust or the account as a guarantor. So
And
just
as a
something to be aware of. It's a non-recourse loan in that case.
And something to fall back on, guys, is you sign up for entities like Ground Floor, Vizio, Lending One, Lima One, Kogo. I'm still waiting to hear back from Heather at Briscoe. They are just now starting to lend again after the pandemic. I mean, they've been down for almost 2 years, recovering. They're a smaller, family, like they're a family office in reality. They have a process. They'll have a rep for you. So you'll have a rep. So if you are working on a deal, and in some cases when you're first starting out, they won't have time for it when you're getting busier. But when you're first starting out, you may be able to get their help on 1 or 2 calls with your clients to go over just what Ari's saying and kind of make sure everything's clean going in. So they can advise you what they can and cannot do. If you're going to lend money, we recommend just being as simple as possible. And I've got everything. Like I said, I'm setting up the 3 or 4 Masterclass associates from 2020 and 2023 who haven't lent yet, but want to lend. We got 2 more coming in this week. And so they want to lend on EMDs and like down payments, because obviously EMDs are getting the money back at closing, and on down payments, they can take a second in some cases, and they're willing to throw in, to be a down payment or something for people. They're not going to do a whole lot. Most of them only have a couple $100,000. I actually met one of them Saturday. He came into Denver for the weekend. His brother lives here, ironically, so he's here 5 or 6 times a year. So we had breakfast on Saturday morning for a couple hours, and he's a Mason, so he's at his Masonic lodge on Monday nights. Other than that, he's basically he's a full member. I mean, he's doing everything passively that you guys are doing actively on Monday nights. But he'll be lending money by probably mid-April. We got another guy that's coming in who's also ironically in the aerospace industry, like Armando. So we got a couple people that are going to be lending money, and if anybody's got 50, 100, 200,000 that they're maybe it's just not enough to your property, but maybe it's enough you can lend some EMD and you could you get paid right away by the lender. I mean, you get paid by the title company right back if you do an EMD loan. You fund the title company, they hold it in escrow, you know, but you have you gotta have some provisions. Basically, you know, there's some different ways to do that where you kind of protect your money. If so, you know, like you gotta really know what the deal is and how the refundable versus the non-refundable port, you know, once you get to non-refundable, making sure that you're screwed. There's actually a company, and I'm giving their information that will actually insure you. So if you do a loan for EMD, I got to make sure that I reached out to them. I haven't heard back, but they will actually insure you if you loan like $5,000 or something, and it becomes non-refundable for any reason. It's not your fault. It's like having E&O insurance, so you can actually insure that. And you basically anything you're doing like that, you make the borrower pay the fees for it. So if you have to pay a fee to insure it, then you pass it on to them.
So you're saying that you got these people coming into work, because remember last week I said that I had.
No. And Bill, I remember our conversation. I got a couple other people that are joining. They're coming in for the next class, but they're going to start now because they're so we'll have 3 or 4. But I counted what you said as well, that you wanted to do it as well. So
Okay.
I'm just going to get all you guys together. Kevin and I will get all you guys together and try to make sure, you know, I want to know exactly what your criteria, what you're requiring. And then if you need any of the forms or anything, which ones you want to pull from us, so we can make sure, you know, and, you guys all don't have to be the same, but making sure if you need something, we got it for you and we can put your logo and name and all that stuff on it.
Do people
Okay.
know what transactional funding is? Have people heard the term transactional funding? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, most everybody here is experienced.
Oh, okay, so you guys know,
Yeah.
so I assume we'll have people who are gonna be willing to lend for the double closing?
Probably. There's a couple people that are willing to do down payments, loans, and a couple people willing to do AMDs, and then I think a couple people are willing to do more longer terms, like Robert Newburn, you know, who was in the 2020 with you and Cameron.
So when I'm talking about transactional funding here, I'm talking about for double closing and wholesale.
Yeah, we know. They
Yeah,
know.
okay,
This is a very unlike, you know, your class had a lot more newcomers. They probably had out of the
Okay.
12 people, there was probably 8 people brand new. And we have 6 people, including yourself and Cameron, and Robert, that are, you know, really and out of that.
right,
And then at this class, out of the 12 or 13 people, probably 8 to 10 of them are experienced. It's a completely
Okay.
different opposite. And I expect that the class that starts in July, that we're just starting to bring in people now who are going to be like passive, but they're going to be in the AI event. And I told them they can come in, they can start joining, but they'll be able to actually, everybody, like if somebody's in right now and they miss something or they want to, they can just roll into the next class, just like you're kind of doing, even though it's been a couple of years.
I'll bring it up, because
So-
there's really good, if you can build a business doing the double close lending, there's really nice money to be made on it. Usually.
Am I the only one that didn't hear a thing he just said?
I'm sorry.
Me
There's-
or, yeah.
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So there's nice money to be made on double closing transactions. It's basically arbitrage. You basically make a percent on it, but you make a percent in 24 to 48 hours. And your money is never at risk, because it's basically your money is not deployed until both contracts are in place and executed. So, you know, you're never really going to get stuck. I mean, I guess in theory it could happen, but in practice, you're never going to get stuck and defaulted. And so it's just easy arbitrage where you make a percentage on that transaction. So you lend 100,000 for the double close, you know, and it comes back with 100,001 a day later. I mean, that's not bad money on a 24-hour transaction. So
Oh yeah. And that's where there's people that can do that, and there's people that want to do like,
yeah.
their EMD is a little risky, but you can reduce the EMD by having the insurance.
Well,
and
this
you
is
make
an
people-
EMD. This is not EMD. This is
I know
not a
that.
down payment.
I know, but I'm explaining what I have one person wanting to do.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying that we have multiple people that are willing to do these kind of transactions, because there's a couple of different types of transactions. So we'll probably have at least one person for almost every type of this kind of situation. because they're all pretty close to it. EMD and transaction and all that are they're kind of that they make really good money. I mean, they are, you're right. It's really good to do these. You can make, if you're going to lend money and build up, because you can build up a pretty good little nest egg just doing it over and over and over. It's a rinse and repeat kind of thing.
And what
I
does-
was actually working. If you can set up your business credit right and get like $100,000 line of credit, there's some companies that will like give you a month interest free on your line of credit. So my thought process was to get $100,000 line of credit for a business, do these transactional funding deals. So you pull the money, you deploy the money, it comes back with 1% on it. You immediately return it to the credit company and you never pay a cent of interest on the money. And all you just keep on doing is doing that, you do those, a few of those a week and, it's gonna add up.
All right, guys, so this is what we've been talking about. And Doris, this is what you've asked a couple of different classes. So I finally pulled up this chart. So this is a finder's proposed exemptive order. So what they do, the SEC calls it safe harbor. These are safe harbors for different things. So we're talking about registered brokers, a broker dealer. Broker dealers are really not going to get involved with a lot of this the real estate that everybody that we know are doing. They may on some larger deals. They mostly work on like, stocks and things like that. They have to have the Series 66 and I think it's a 70 series and an 82, I think Series 82, a couple of different, and they've got to have some capital. There are also some white label programs where you can go and you can get sponsored as a broker dealer without meeting the qualifications. So this is kind of if you want to raise money for other people, you can do the least is being what they call a tier one. So we'll just kind of go through and show you what you can do on all three. I'm going to go through this list because you can legally get paid two different ways without being a broker dealer, but the SEC is not officially adopted this yet. But like I said, they just did this almost to a T, almost probably 90% of it for merger and acquisition. And these came out at the same time. Ari, you remember we were talking about this like a year ago with Anthony and Angel and all that.
We've been talking about this for more than a year at this point.
Probably, 2021.
It's
Yeah,
been floating around and everybody's just like wondering what the hell's going on.
Well,
because-
the SEC just approved the first part of this for mergers and acquisitions. This is now for what we do. So we're expecting this to go down in the next month or two. And the securities
Nice.
attorneys who have all contributed to it, like they put their comments into it. So guys, you can do it. A natural person, you have to be obviously a person. It's kind of stupid to say that, but to raise money and transaction-based compensation across the board. If you're a tier one or tier two, you can get paid for the transaction. You couldn't before. Now, accredited investors, you're good, all three of you, tier one, tier two, and dealers. So as a tier one or tier two. A tier one used to just be a finder, meaning let's say Ari's trying to raise money and Bill brings him, Spencer, and Spencer is a friend of his, but he doesn't know Ari. Well, Bill can get paid, by Ari a finder's fee, but it can't be in a contractual situation. It can't be in a writing, it's like, hey, this guy's going to bring me money. Well, cool. He brings the money and invests it. I'm going to throw you a couple grand or $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever as a finder's fee. So you could not before this actually have a contractual situation where it's in writing before that and it's like an arrangement. Other than that, it's just like, hey, it's like, somebody, it's like a finder's fee in a way. So non-accredited investors, and we went through accredited and non-accredited. I will go through the accredited and non-accredited investors one more time in the next month before we're done with the 12 weeks. Non-reporting is a private company. So a private company, public company, we'll just make it easier. Public companies, Tesla, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft. A private company is private money holdings. It could be any of your multifamily apartment syndicators or operators as a private company. So you can raise money for all of them. You cannot raise money as a tier one or two tier. You cannot raise money for Microsoft, not that they need it. Offerings, primary exempt offerings. You can't do secondary sales or registered offerings. You can't do IPOs or you can't do market making. Market making is like, well, a bad situation is Jordan Belfort market making for Steve Madden, but then Jordan Belfort went to prison for it. But you build a market. You're basically you have to put capital in, and you basically, it's kind of hard to explain. But for primary exempt offering, Regulation D is exempt. Regulation A is exempt. So we are good if you want to raise money for a private exempt offering. Investor contact information of the issuer, you can do that as a tier 1 or tier 2. You cannot identify, screen, and contact potential investors as a tier 1. You cannot distribute issuer offering materials. You cannot discuss issuer information, including offering materials. You cannot arrange or participate in meetings with the issuer and investor. So you can as a tier 2 on all these, which would be more of an organized business. It could be like me on private money authority. I could actually do all this, and I could actually have a contractual assist, and I can issue the materials. I can screen. I can look to make sure.
Wait, Nate,
Yeah.
hold on. You said you could do this as PMA, but if you scroll up, a tier 2 can't be a business. It has to be a person. So you can't do this as part of PMA. You can do this as Nate Marshall.
Yeah, they're going to actually allow that in the final. This is not the
Okay.
final. They're going to allow that in the final. You can be on tier 2. You won't be able to do it as tier 1. Tier 1 is really just if you're an individual person, but they are changing it. That was some of the feedback from the securities attorneys. That's why I didn't put this out there earlier, because it's a little confusing in that area, but they will. Believe me, guys, when this comes out, they're going to have this chart, but they're going to have about 100 pages of actually SEC legalese to go with it. So believe me, that's what you pay securities attorneys for. I mean, Jillian charges like $500 an hour. It's pretty, when she does stuff. She has like packages, like, if you're doing a regulation D, it's like a flat fee. But if you're having to do any extra work or anything like that, it's like $500 an hour. You can start, engage in general solicitation. You won't be able to do any of this as a tier 1 or tier 2. Engage in due diligence, perform independent analysis. I mean, you can't do this. This is all the issuer. The issuer can do all of this. You cannot do this unless you're a broker dealer. And it probably takes, like I said, it takes 3 FINRA, series licenses to be a broker dealer. So you get into the bottom here. Anti-fraud protection applies. Believe me, they look for it. Written agreement with issuer required. Written disclosure of investors required. You can't do that as tier 1. You can as 2. No statutory disqualification. So nobody can be disqualified. Their situation is like disqualified as you have a previous SEC or has ruled that you were disqualified. Could have been, anything. I mean, literally, pretty much everybody in the crypto industry right now is being disqualified. Things like that. So you guys can read through this again. I posted this today on your own time. Now, where some of the things with broker dealer also have an advantage, broker dealers end up usually getting a piece of they do an IPO. If you're going to launch, when Facebook launched, the market maker and the broker dealers got pretty significant. We talked about that a couple weeks ago in the commissions. They got pretty hefty fees for doing that. You go raise $1 billion for people, you're probably making 50 million, $100 million as your commission. Your firm is. I don't know what you get paid as if you work for the firm. Bill Morgan, who we're going to be doing our investment banking thing with for PMH, basically will take a 7.5%. They are an investment bank. Investment banks are bigger than broker dealers. So guys, we're also going to show you. I'm just going to kind of point on this. Let me pull it up real quick. A couple different documents. Some of these are. I'm just going to show this because I'm not going to go through them too much. These are just things that I've posted that you guys can use or you can pass around. One's just some of these are just for information gatherings. So this is a 30-year rental vetting worksheet. And it's not, it's like I said in that first couple of weeks when we had that form. This isn't for one client, but if you're going to be doing this, like as a private money broker, it just gives you a place to put this by your phone and just make quick notes. So I uploaded this for today. This is what I would do on a private money broker. I'd pull it out there looking for 30 or venting. This is just for a quick. This is if you're just doing a single family for a flipper. To rent it as a rental income. So these are just questions to remind yourself to ask a potential client if you're a private money broker, or if you're a private money lender, you can just ask a few questions. So it's just a cheat sheet. I threw that in there today for you guys, uploaded it. There's a lot of, I probably got about 100 different cheat sheets that I'm putting in there for you guys. So you guys will never have, you'll always have stuff that's already, ready for you. So that's a pretty good, trying to see if I can get back to my. All right. So the one I'm going to do real quick, guys, I'm going to show you guys. I have one on how to create a comparative property analysis. I'm really not going to go into too many of these. I've got one for net worth and cash flow. I uploaded that for you guys. I uploaded a real estate analysis program. But what I want to show you guys is something that's really, and this is in there as well. I got 2 different multifamily ones that are incredible. You guys have feel free to use this. I've got 2 different ones. This is the long form. I'm going to show you this because it says how's the disclaimer. And so you guys can go in and use this. It's Excel. It's hard to blow this one up, but you guys can see this gives you a place to put all your numbers. And this is the really extensive one that goes through 10 years, the financial assumptions. You got the income. This is if you're going to do like a large apartment complex. If you do a smaller one, you're going to want to use the other one I have, which is, I'll show you in a minute. But this is it's in there as well for you guys. Everybody can use this. And I mean, it's literally, if you're doing this, you're doing some big projects. You get a net operating income. This is going to do
IRR. Will it do IRR or net zero?
Yeah, kind of not work on your own. Angel could run you through this pretty easily. I suggest you actually use the one I'm going to show you next when you're starting out because it's a lot simpler. This one's extensive. I mean, you're showing 10 years. And I mean, you've got acquisition. So guys, this is incredible. You got your exit strategies. Those are all your exit strategies are in here, your caps, all your cap rate, your NOI, all your information is in here. All your returns, it'll calculate your IRR. You can do your loans, all your debt service, your first mortgage, your second mortgage. If it's a refi, and of course you got all the legal notices. This is I uploaded it into the group so you guys can download it. But just to kind of be a little bit easier on you guys, I suggest you just start with the basic one if you're just starting out. Let me go ahead and get out. You have to do that. Double click on it. Like I said, hopefully by the next time I get to we get to class 3. So this is an easier one, guys. You got market rents, your current financials, you got the financing, you get your 5 to 10 year production. So this is a little bit easier to do your performance. And the nice thing is you can print this out. Comes out a really nice, clean document that you can give to your lenders or investors. So this is yours as well. I'm not going to go through a whole lot of things to teach you guys. If you guys want to do this, I'm going to try to get Angel and some other people that are doing multifamilies, Robert Newbern and stuff, Gabe and Josh and those kind of guys to kind of go through it with you guys. But this is all yours. Everything that I download in either Masterclass Files tab or an Investor Download Center Masterclass, you guys can have. It's yours. So I got a few other ones. I got net worth and cash flow. It goes into your business. Your business. I got one for 24 months, but this is kind of a cool thing. And this is the last one, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff. This is actually great. This goes into personal stuff. I mean, you can literally get into your personal and your business. So you can get into all your net worth, and you can put all your data in it. So this is built by a friend of mine who does wealth management. And so this is yours free so you guys can use this and you can pass this around as well and white label it. It's got life insurance and got all your costs and your budget, and it's pretty awesome. Expenses. So this is yours free as well. Just to show you guys some free stuff. So I'm just trying to show you guys some more stuff of value that you guys have for what you guys did. for everything. I don't know where Kevin's gonna be back or not. I don't know what's up with his internet. So let me go through, unmute the people that are muted. Just, I know, Ari's, let's see, Bill, Doris, Gabrielle, Spencer, Simi, James, Jim. Okay, guys, so what we're gonna, like I said, what we're gonna do for those of you who came late, and I will put the schedule, I kind of put a schedule today into the group. These next 2 weeks, we're gonna basically do deal desks. I want you to bring your scenarios, your deals in, and we're gonna go around the room and we're gonna spend about 5 to 10 minutes on everybody who comes in. So 10 people, that's an hour and a half, probably 2 hours to go through all the deals and just give input. Everybody can do kind of a presentation of what you're working on. If you're like, just bring a deal in that you want to get done in the next month. And then that'll be the next 2 weeks. March 27th, like I said, Armando, who was here last week, and Justin Birch will be doing a presentation on AI. They'll be
Hey,
showing,
Nate,
you know,
Nate, I got an airport I want to buy.
okay, let's not, that stopped being funny 2 years ago.
No, it's always gonna be funny because 99% chance you're gonna go off on it. And it's always funny.
Dude, he never even, like, when I asked him about, hey, do you even know what the FAA requires for you to own an airport? And he didn't know. And I was like, good luck getting funded, buddy. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do on March 27th, and he's gonna use PropWire, which is free. Has anybody signed up for PropWire? It's
Yeah, I
free.
did.
Oh yeah, it's awesome for being free. And then
Yeah.
Privy is about $1,000 a year, and Benson has a little
Oh, wow.
upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, so Privy's awesome. So Justin's gonna show Privy props wire and prop stream, and he's probably gonna make a couple offers and LOIs. And Armando, you guys met Armando last week. I mean, the guy uses AI for a defense contractor doing security for ITAR. And you know, if he explained what ITAR is arms reduction. Like he's in arms control for his company. So he has to do a lot of stuff to protect his company's interests and their data from being like, well, Russia and China trying to steal it or something, or what they're working on for the government. So they're going to do a presentation on the 27th. After that, 2 more weeks of deal desk. Then we switch to every other week until July, and we'll start this over again, 12 consecutive weeks, other than Labor Day.
These are quite challenging.
So yeah. So just bring your deals the next couple weeks. Like that's what's going to happen. And we're just going to game out everybody's deals and try to get you guys funded. I'm going to be on my iPhone, so I won't be sharing. If you guys want to share, let me know. I'll give you shareability. And then I'm going to have my computer, my laptop, and my iPad. I will be looking through the lenders list, and we'll be trying to identify some lenders and that'll work for that deal. So that way you guys can leave. You should be able to leave with 2 or 3 lenders for your deal that you might be able to approach and try to get the deal done with. And then, like I said, the searchable database is going to take a few more weeks because, like I said, it's not, in order to put as much data in as they need, the VA needs like probably a month to get it done. Just to, you can build it in a couple of days, but just to feed in all the data and then make sure it works. And then over between now and the end of the year, I'm going to be basically making probably 2 videos a day, at least 3 to 5 days, at least 10 to 12, probably 10 to 12 videos a week. And they're going to be different topics. Some will be for single family, some will be for multifamily. Basically 5 to 7 minutes. There'll be modules, and then I'll go to the next module, because the theory behind that is that people's attention spans, you can go in there, and if you can watch like 3 or 4 or 5, 7 minute videos a day or a night or whatever on your own time, you can learn a lot. So I'm going to be breaking down a lot more of these deals, and I'm going to have some guests on as well. Like Justin's going to come on and talk about sub 2. We're going to talk about seller and carry, the 3 option offer, which I will go into in the next 4 weeks of classes. I'm going to do the 3 option offer because it's pretty awesome. It's probably one of the best and unknown strategies. You're making 3 offers on the same form. It's really ridiculous. The seller thinks they have control, or they think they have a lot more control than they do. So it's a really good situation. And then I said with AI and the 3 Ps, the prop stream, preview, PropWire, you guys are going to be able to work circles around. You won't need a wholesaler because you'll be able to find a property on and off market, and you can actually use resources to do your comps. Use that comparative analysis document that I uploaded today. And if you haven't done comps, if you've done comps, cool. If you need to do a CD&A report, I can give you the link to Kogo. They charge you $25. You get 30, it's like 30 pages, and you can get pretty good information. Privy has that. PropStream has some other, and PropWire. But yeah, you guys should be able to work circles around anybody else if you guys get good. And Justin's willing to spend time with you on the side to help you. So you guys will get to meet Justin. I mean, he was here a couple weeks ago, the first 2 sessions. And then Armando's gonna work with Justin on building an AI program. We're really gonna get AI down. ChatGPT is really good. Microsoft came out so strong that Google had to bring its founders, Larry Page and his Sergey, I forgot, Sergey Brin, I think is his name, the multi-billionaires from Google. They had to come back to bail out their company to help them get theirs all fixed. And I believe Elon Musk is working on it now with Twitter. They're actually going to be working on AI, and so is Zuckerberg. So you're going to have all 4 of Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and Twitter all having their own AI, which will be kind of interesting. And obviously, you guys know Elon had a good day last week. On the same day he launched astronauts to space as he did Tesla Investor Day. As the same day he also had Twitter do something what they did on Twitter, but it was like bing, bing, bing. All 3 companies had like huge days, all on the same day. I don't know. It must be nice. It's probably nice being worth $200 billion. So does anybody have anything else tonight specifically? I just like to say, save your deals for the next 4 weeks unless you got something pressing. Because that's all we're gonna do. And if you guys get on here early, I'll try to be on like 5 minutes early. Literally by 6:01, 6:02, I'm gonna be calling you guys who's first and bring your deal, talk about a deal that you want to get done. So, yep. And I'm looking forward to that because this really is showing what you've learned. And guys, I also want to tell you, outside of, because we have these videos, this is the 8th for the masterclass. I probably have 10 or 12 other videos on YouTube and different, but today I did my 100th video since May. So it was pretty cool. I don't know if anybody's watched those videos. I mean, I'm getting better and better at it. So I was really happy that I got 100 today. And it was like, yeah, I just like doing them because I like being communicative with people and
I
explaining.
just posted a link for you. I posted a link for you there, Nate.
Oh yeah, Crexy. You got Crexy and LoopNet. LoopNet's also good.
No. Read the link. It wasn't just Crexy. Look at the last word in the link.
Oh my God, if it's an airport.
It's a list of airports you can buy.
God, okay.
You serious, Ari, or you just joking around?
No, this is an inside.
This is an inside joke.
Okay.
We have a guy in our PMAOG group who basically came. Because we literally had a soft commit from a hedge fund, and so we were going to basically put all the deals together to give to them because they were going to fund a number of deals. Well, this guy submitted for an airport and a deal for Nestle that he was going to need $20 million for both of them, and he submitted on an airplane. This is the guy who wanted to do hemp and grow hemp in Maine. And he submitted.
And he didn't even have a seat, did he? He wasn't even a seat member. He was just like a broker, right?
No, he was a member, but he hadn't paid. He just paid a $250.
Oh, right. He hadn't paid. Isn't he the one who called you for money for his refrigerator or something?
Yeah, he's the same guy. He's one of Sean's buddies. Never mind. I don't really want to get into it too much, guys. It's just a joke because the guy wanted to buy an airport and then he wanted to buy a Nestle plant. And this is a guy that basically was just growing hemp and marijuana in Maine. And he was like, well, I need an airport to fly all my product out, and this airport's for sale. And it's like, did you even know what I actually looked up what the FAA requires to have a private airstrip. And it's like, dude, you wouldn't qualify. Like we had somebody else wanting to buy hotels, and they wanted to buy a hotel that was a branded, and there's a company that has like 7 different brands, like Baymont, and they have some other ones. They have 7 different brands, and they had like, you could be an entry-level operator at some, but some you had to have more experience and some you had to have a lot of experience as you moved up their food chain. And look, then he literally would not have qualified for 6 of the 7 brands. So he applied for the one he would qualify for, and I was like, well, I was thinking that was gonna, get us out of having to even work on it. But yeah, he was, dude, some people turned in some really ridiculous things. Like we had a list and it was like, literally it's like, dude, you know, so Ari mentions the airport every once in a while because I did kind of get pissed after a while about it. Because I was like, man, it's like, did you even do your homework? Do you know what it's like, cool, I want to buy this. I want to buy Disney World. I can't run it if, yeah, I don't really want to buy Disney World. I just thought, I was trying to think of something.
Well, I hope you charge him a fee for all that research you did.
Yeah, I charged him a fee.
Okay.
200.
That's-
Yeah. So yeah, and so we're done talking about the airport.
Yeah.
Just in the next 4 weeks, don't bring an airport in, and I'm good. Okay.
Okay. What about a yacht?
No. You can buy,
No,
single family. Yeah.
A yacht, actually, it's funny. If you're gonna do an investment yacht that's gonna do charters, then that might legitimately be something that we could find a lender on. I don't know. That's something we'd have to look into
Okay,
and go.
let's try to
looking for
keep
somebody.
this to what the lenders on our lists will do.
But more importantly, Nate, yachts are an important thing to be aware of because every now and then you need a tax deduction for a floating office. So I just want to point out that is a good deduction, a floating office.
Really? All right, I was just joking because y'all was joking about the airport.
No, there's people who have done floating offices and deducted it off their taxes.
All right.
Uh,
All right, let's talk. Let's see if anybody else wants to
All right.
chime in. Gabriella, how are you? Let me see if you're still
She's
muted.
not. She's muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to everybody. Gabriella, how are you?
Sorry, my kids are acting like animals today.
Oh,
All
so
the
yeah,
screaming.
are you able to get did you get the videos that I kind of in the group, or do you still need help getting them? ones
I
that-
got the last one. I just need to get the couple. I'm gonna go back and review the other ones.
Okay, because all of them are available. I just want to make sure that everybody has them. So I will go through tomorrow and I'll put all 8 of them up, including tonight's. So I'll put
Okay.
8. I'll put this one up by about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock my time tomorrow, and then I'll just put the rest of them. So I try to do that, guys. So you'll see them 3 or 4 times, and I'll put them back to back to back. So if you missed anything, you can go back and watch them. And then keep in mind, if you've missed anything, you need help, you can just keep taking this. The 2020 people are still doing it. There's
Okay.
some people still come back and ask me for video from. We weren't doing a whole lot of the YouTube stuff, so we weren't saving a lot in the 2020 class. I only started the YouTube channel in last April, so just because I finally wanted to have at least, there's a lot of stuff out there for public, and there's some stuff, guys. If you're looking for some of the topics we've covered, there's some stuff on the public side you guys can check out. I got 100 videos up there now, so you can go back and look at, if you want to look at Wyoming entities. There's some from May. I did some videos. There's almost everything we talked about. There's some other videos, so you can just get a different time frame of when I was doing these. So, and then like I said, my goal is to do 1,000 of these 5 to 7 minute videos over the next 9 to 10 months. And so these are all going to be for Masterclass, and then I will do like a 1 to 2 minute short for YouTube or a 1 to 2 minute reel for Facebook on that. But I'm not going to give away the the golden nuggets that you guys get, but I'll just be kind of showing them what they, some basic tips, but you guys will get all the advanced, and this will all roll into the virtual, if you guys have seen, if you guys want to see the 2, let me post it in the links. So this is the company I'm going to post the link. It's called Lightspeed VT. So I call it pretty much Lightspeed VermontTexas.com, because sometimes people don't hear the V and T when you say it. So you guys can go take a look at Lightspeed and see what they do. And what we're going to use their platform, and it's pretty cool. All you guys will be free for life, and you'll get beta testing. And it's going to be pretty cool because it's going to be, you can either do a track somebody could sign up for a subscription and take everything. And then someone could just sign up and say, I want to go and take, multifamily, or I want to take a track on how to turn a C class property into a B. So there's 100 modules. We'll have one of you guys could actually do it and have your contractor there and show people. And there'll be a couple different revenue streams to compensate everybody. It's going to launch in the fourth quarter. So there's a company not related to real estate called Storm Ventures Group. And I worked with them when I was in 2017, 2018, I got into this and I ventured away from my roofing and storm company. And Storm Ventures Group, you guys can take a look at their contractor store and you can look at two things. One, they have SVG University, and the other one is they have their contractor store. And you guys can see what the direction we're going to go with both of those. So we're going to have a university, like I said, where people can log on and do virtual. We'll be able to do live events as well. And then they can go and do packages, like there'll be a full package of all the forms. They'll be able to actually go in and get, like, for their company and have all their logo and all their stuff, all the forms for if they want to be a multifamily investor. You got all the offer forms, all that stuff. There's going to be different packages for them so they can buy them. And everybody that's in the masterclass and all our groups will get a part of the revenue. We're going to have two revenue systems. We're working on that. Chris Galicki,
Hey,
all right. Chris Galicki,
Hey, Nate,
Hello.
yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
just a question for you, Nate.
No,
When
sir,
are we
not
gonna
at all.
get, when are we
Thanks for
gonna
the
have
call.
like when are we gonna start having like PMA swag? Like, I want a ball cap, I want the mug, when are we gonna get PMA swag going?
Probably once we get the investment bank thing going, we can do it. At the same time, we're gonna do the rebates and all that. We're gonna have a Sean bobblehead.
What?
No, that just never mind. Sean was one of our partners. We love Sean. He's still a friend, but Sean had a TIA, which is like a mini stroke. So can't really get into it because of medical, but Sean was funny and he was awesome. He was an underwriter for a bank and did all their, if you guys seen Big Short, when they sell all the security, they sell the mortgages and securities. Sean did that for his bank that he worked at. He was like a vice president. So he was sharp, but he got, had a little mini TIA. We all love Ari and Kevin. I can talk about it because, Sean was a partner of Kevin and mine with Jesse, and Sean kind of had to drop off when he got a little bit sicker than, he's awesome. He's still around, but he can't do things like make decisions and stuff anymore. So he's still a friend of ours, but I had to tell Ari that because with Sean will always like shake his head like a bobblehead when he was on the Zooms.
And we could put the bobblehead on an airport as the platform. Get like a Lego airport and put the bobblehead on it.
I still have pictures. I found them at the Fisher Price airport I got when I was like 4. And you can actually go and buy it on eBay, and I found it and sent it to my mom. I was like, hey mom, remember this Fisher Price airport? So I sent that to Mike Dillon. I said, Mike, here's your airport. I said, you can get on eBay.
What these people have never been through is when the two of us start talking fire and EMS, and that conversation could go on for 2 hours telling stories, and everybody will be sitting there going, what are they talking about?
That's why I'm taking it off record right now.